Arguments about a variety of plans being offered to the court. We have a report now from the Dallas Federal Building and Eyewitness Newswoman Mae Watts.
The decision has finally gone to Judge William Taylor in the Dallas school desegregation case. Final arguments ended today. Betty Hoover has the report.
Today was the end of 5 long, arduous weeks of hearings on how, and sometimes it seemed even whether, we should desegregate Dallas schools.
I feel to a large extent blacks are still tokens in the media. You have but to look around at the different stations to see that there are 1 or 2 on staff. As far as being visible, there are some behind the scenes, but I think by a large measure, even with some of the so-called changes that have been made by the so-called coalition and things of that nature, I think that by and large that we still occupy token positions, certainly do.
As a black youth, I think this is the case, but more by default than by design. I think that if you look at the numbers of blacks, say, in the newspaper business, you would obviously have to say that we're a token statistic. But I think whether one is a token or not depends upon whether one allows himself to be. I think one can be in a position on a newspaper, for example, and be there just for visibility's sake, or else he can just prove himself, and he can not allow this to happen to him.
Do you feel that the blacks on the newspapers and in television everywhere else have a responsibility to the black community?
Yes, I definitely do. I think I once attended a seminar, a summer seminar sponsored by the Ford Foundation at Columbia University on minorities in journalism. And one of the dictums that we came away with was to try to do nothing to harm the black community in your reporting. Now, I realize that's kind of an ambiguous thing to say, but the main thing I got from that was not to allow oneself to be sucked into the position of sensationalizing just for the sake of a story, something that could be detrimental to the image of the black community, to the interest of the black community, and to always try to get away from this cop-out of mere objectivity and try to inject the black perspective into whatever story is being written about them.
Well, do you feel that, my household is black, mother and father, and I think that when I got into this profession, one of the things that I got in mind, or in mind, was certainly to bring a degree of understanding and communication to black people, not only telling them what is happening via their world, that includes the non-black world, of course, but also translating their news, if you will, into terms that can be presented. Of course, I feel that I have a great degree of responsibility in making a presentation.
Do you feel that the media in general, the organizations, have a responsibility to the black community?
By organizations, are you speaking of stations or
individual stations? Yes.
Of course I do. I think that most of them were not doing that for a long time, and that was called to their attention. I think that there have been some improvements, but I think that there's a great deal there's a great deal of what's the word I'm looking for, of area or for improvement and everything. Certainly they aren't doing all that they can. I think that much more can be done and of course should be done.
The responsibility, I often think they don't have the resources to do it. And I think they don't have those resources because this need is never felt by them, because they don't really have the competition. What I'm getting at is that the general media needs competition from a specialized minority or black media. We need a black media out there getting stories that will challenge the general media, saying, look, we're getting the heck beat out of us because we don't have anybody in those areas.